It's Nolan. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. No intro on this video. I don't feel like any of the music in my catalog suffices for this type of video with this type of weight. We're not going to be here for very long because it's not all that many details that we got to get into. But we're going to get into this whole Young Dolph situation, okay? Apparently, the prosecutor on the Young Dolph trial, they're alleging that Yo Gotti's brother is the one who sanctioned the unaliving of rapper Young Dolph. Now, of course, if you've been tuned in to, I guess, word of mouth, if you've been tuned in to the streets, or you got folks that's connected in the South that know a little something about something, this ain't no new information, but it's also some information that kind of just been speakeasy type shit that people really expected to go undetected and not brought to the surface. However, that has completely changed. As a matter of fact, the news is now covering it and putting this information out there. Once again, they believe Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook, is responsible for the unaliving of rapper Young Dolph. Now, it's not to say that he did it, but they're claiming that he put $100,000 up for whomever had the heart to go out, take to the street, and do the deed. Okay? So that's the story that's being put out there. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull up this news clip so I can show y'all this shit being said on actual TV. Yo Gotti, it's not a good look, brother.
Assistant DA Paul Hagerman says Yo Gotti's late brother, Big Jook, put out a $100,000 hit for whoever killed Young Dolph, then met with the two suspects before the shooting. Here's a live look inside the courtroom as opening statements continue. The two first witnesses will be family members. Rosalind Freeman breaks down the biggest question that remains. Which suspects will we expect to see in court today?
Multiple sources told Fox 13 Jeremy Pierre that Justin Johnson will be the first to stand trial today. Johnson is one of the alleged shooters who shot and killed Dolph in November 2021. He was one of the 4 people charged in that case. The others are Cornelius Smith, the second accused shooter, along with alleged mastermind Hernandez Govan. A 4th person, Jamarcus Johnson, took a plea deal last year, admitting to being an accessory after the fact. We do know that the jury has already been selected and brought in from Nashville for this trial. Fox 13 will be here every step of the way. There will be live coverage, and we will continue to keep you updated. Live from downtown, Rosalind Freeman, Fox 13 News.
Now, before I go any further in my video, I just want to go ahead and say RIP to Young Dolph, extend my condolences to his family and everything. Those that loved him, those that had the opportunity to meet him, spend time around him, be a part of his journey while he was here. Because we all know that that was a very tragic situation. And, you know, he was a very, very well-loved artist, and he was doing it his way, doing it independent. Well, I won't say independent, but he had his own company. And, you know, similarly to the beloved Nipsey Hussle, was taken within his own community. All right. Now, the trial began today. So let's get into the, what they're saying. As the trial began earlier, we learned 2 of the 3 suspects originally scheduled to go on trial would testify against the other suspect. The trial began for Justin Johnson, who is, or at least was, one of Dolph's artists. And he goes by the name Straight Drop. And they're basically alleging that he was, he was motivated to become the record label's next big artist. and planned to take his part of the $100,000 to help escalate his rap career. So he was involved and was motivated by money. I guess he felt he wasn't getting the publicity, the support, or backing that he was expecting. I'm guessing there was definitely a large dose of envy there, wanted to be in the spotlight while Dolph was the one actually receiving it. Because you don't just, like, if you wanna get support, ask the nigga to leave, drop me. You know what I'm saying? What do I got to do to fulfill the contract and get out of this so I could go elsewhere? Can I get a deal elsewhere? Do a partnership somewhere? You know what I mean? There was a few different other options that you could have got involved with professionally, but to play a vital role in alleged vital role, let's just say that, in taking this man out, you definitely had to covet his position. Justin Johnson is facing charges including first degree unaliving, unlawful carrying and possession of a firearm, and theft of property in the death of young Dolph. We've also got Cornelius Smith Jr. and Hernandez Govan. They say had originally been set to go to trial at the same time as Johnson. Smith faces charges, including, we just went through them, but it's pretty much the same charges. First degree unaliving, unlawful carrying, possession of firearm, theft of property. According to the opening statements made by prosecutors, Smith is to testify against Johnson. Okay? So all of them were in this together, but Cornelius Smith is about to throw straight drop under the bus. Once again, before we get there, Big Jook, aka Yo Gotti's brother, who's now deceased, he set up $100,000 play to get young Dolph, right? They wanted him out of here. And somehow, some way, well, I don't even say it was somehow, some way, because Justin Johnson was an artist under young Dolph. So he kind of was aware of Dolph's whereabouts so that they could set him up, right? Which is why they were able to so easily get him at the cookie shop. Him and Justin were supposed to receive $40K apiece out of the $100K. And they were supposed to give two other guys $10K apiece, which would have equaled $100 in total. Only $800 got paid out, and we still lost this man. Now, I don't know Yo Gotti's potential involvement, right? But they're saying his brother was involved. His brother, Big Jook, was unalived at the top of this year. Okay, so definitely some street stuff going on. Cornelius Smith says that along with that initial $500 that he got, he received a letter with it. Okay, letter said that if Smith and the other alleged killer Justin were caught, Big Jook would make sure that they had the best lawyers. Clearly, he can't be making sure they got the best lawyers because he's not here to see it. And it seems that somebody like a Yo Gotti ain't going to put no money up to take care of this situation and make sure they got the best lawyers, because it will seem as if he's funding them to help them get away with it. So Cornelius is in court letting it all hang out once again. We have footage of Mr. Cornelius Smith laying out the foundation of what he was commissioned to do. This is all very sad. This is all very disgusting. Because $100K or not, to go out and kill somebody that you have no issue with, y'all had no prior problem with, no nothing. Senseless violence, man. But we do have footage of him in court outlining and detailing his involvement and detailing Justin Smith's involvement as well. So we've got about 8 minutes of footage. So I'm going to go ahead. Well, about 7 minutes of footage. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think of all this stuff. This shit crazy, man. Sad.
And his brother, right? His brother's Gotti, is that correct? Okay. Before this day, which is in November of 2021, about how long had you been knowing Justin?
Oh, 3 months.
A few months. About how many times do you think you'd been around them?
Couple times we done went to the club together. We've been around each other a couple times.
Okay. And for the record, I know that it's a formality, but for the record, can you point him out in the courtroom and tell me what he's wearing and stuff?
Yeah, the young brother over there with the button-down shirt, blue and white button-down shirt.
If the record could reflect that he's identified the defendant, Mr. Justin Johnson, Your Honor.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant in court.
So how did you get to be with Justin Johnson this day on November 17th, 2021?
We knew that, they had heat on Dolph and them head or whatever, so...
Who had a hit on whose head?
Big Jook had a hit on Dolph head or whatnot, so...
How do you know that Big Jook had a hit on Dolph's head?
Cause Quick had told me about it, Quick, and, I was in being just...
How much money was it supposed to be?
$100,000 on Dolph head.
And had you agreed to do this hit?
Yes, sir.
Had Justin agreed to do this hit?
Yes, sir.
Were y'all going to do it together?
Yeah, they been on it, but yeah.
Was there any arrangements as far as splitting the money or anything?
Yeah, me and him supposed to be giving Quick $10,000 apiece.
All right, so you and him were going to give GoVan $10,000 apiece?
Yeah.
And how much were you going to get?
I was getting 40, he was getting 40.
Okay. Had you spoken with Justin about this?
Yeah, we had been talking about it.
Okay. This was not something that just happened this day, but something that was in the process for weeks?
Yeah,
How did y'all hook up this day, if you remember?
he had pulled up to get me. He came and got me or whatever.
Where'd he get you from?
He got me from my father's house.
Where's your father's house?
Out of Lamont Sims.
Orange Mound area?
Yeah.
Had either you called him or he called you or anything like
He
this?
had called me the first time I missed the call. Then he called me back, I answered. He was telling me basically they were pulling up because we already knew what was going on.
When you say you already knew what was going on, you already knew that this is about?
Yeah, because we knew they were doing a turkey drive, so we was actually on our way to Westwood.
Had you and Justin talked about this particular day before?
Like, nah, not the specific day. Like, we just knew that it was turkey drive going every day that week.
Okay. You knew that, is it fair to say that you knew Dolph was involved in these turkey drives this week before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we didn't know we were going to catch him, but we knew he did his artists. Everybody had a hit on their head. Everybody had a price on their heads.
From Jook?
Yeah, from Jook.
And that was going to be y'all's business this week?
Yeah, that was our beating deal.
When he arrived at the house, do you remember what he was driving?
White Mercedes-Benz.
Okay, had you seen that car before?
Nah, I ain't never saw that car.
Did you get in the car with him?
Yeah, I got him.
Was there anybody else in the car?
Nah, it was just me and Jesse.
Were there any guns in the car?
Yeah, they was on the back seat in the bag.
Do you remember what kind of guns they were?
A Draco, handgun.
Okay. And Draco, Memphis, some type of bigger semi-automatic weapon, is that right? And then a handgun? Do you remember what you were wearing that day?
I had on some gray sweatpants, orange and white Jordan 1s, and a blue Gap hoodie.
A blue Gap hoodie?
With a do-rag on.
With a do-rag on. Did y'all have gloves?
I had my own gloves.
You had your own gloves?
He had his own gloves.
When you got in the car, did you have your gloves on?
Nah, I ain't have the gloves on.
You said Justin had his own gloves?
Yeah, he had his gloves on. Some black gloves.
He had his black gloves on before he picked you up?
Yeah. Yeah, I got scared. I got on them.
Did y'all drive out there?
Yeah, we drove right there.
Stay in a hotel?
Yeah, stayed in the hotel.
About how long were you gone?
I was gone a couple days. I ain't had any more money on me. I ain't had any more money.
Run out of money, you gotta come back.
Yeah, I gotta come back.
And you come back, do you pick up that money from the old woman?
Yeah, I picked up the money from her, and I saw how much it was. I'm like, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like, $500.
You could spend that on pills in one day, I bet.
Yeah, it's over with. Yeah, I can bet it.
What'd you do with the letter?
I flushed down the toilet at the hotel room.
All right. Is that the only time you got any money from Justin?
Nah, a couple days later, I was in the city or whatever, and he was saying that he was gonna have his folks to pull up on me, bring me some money or whatever, hold me down. So I'm thinking he been pulled up about 20, 30,000 leave, you know what I'm saying? But I had my girl to get out the car, and she met the person that was driving on the street or whatever. I had her to have her face mask on, and she said they had their face masks on, so we don't know who it was, but they gave her $300.
$300.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is from Justin's folks.
Yeah, this was just before.
All right. So now we've been paid about $800.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is there any other payment coming?
Nah, all the payments stopped then.
All the payments stopped.
Everything stopped.
Is there any time that you or your girlfriend or anybody received a large payment?
Nah.
How much longer passes until you're arrested about?
Probably about a week after I had saw that when I saw Quick. He was telling me that we had to meet up at the restaurant or whatever to get up with Jook, get my money or whatever.
So as y'all can see, the footage that I have was him detailing the time leading up to the crime, and then afterwards is when he received the $500. Now, I don't have the footage of him talking about the actual incident of when they ran up on him, but there's footage out there of them approaching the scene. You see the two men in their gray sweatpants, black hoodie, whatever they had on. And I couldn't show it on YouTube anyway because they're brandishing weapons, but it's out there of them on the scene, right? So, as shown in the first video, the guy with the blue and white button up is Justin Johnson, aka Straight Drop, the artist that was signed to Young Dolph. And Cornelius claims that each artist on the label was privy to this hit, and it was everybody's, I guess, business to make sure this happened. Otherwise, anybody that was with Dolph, you know, when all of this took place, they would have got hit as well. All right. So just to give a quick recap, according to Newsweek, because they may have a little bit more information than what was disseminated in the footage, we'll just go through it, right? So one of the men accused of killing rapper Young Dolph corroborated the prosecution's claim that rapper Big Jook allegedly had a $100,000 hit on Dolph in November of 2021. Cornelius Smith, which is who we just watched on camera, testified against his co-defendant Justin Johnson in a Memphis courtroom, agreeing with Assistant District Attorney Paul Hagerman that he and Johnson carried out the hit on Dolph in broad daylight at a strip mall. Hernandez Govan, who is believed to be the mastermind behind this, has also been charged with murder. And what I find interesting is when they say he's believed to be the mastermind, for whatever reason, he was only going to receive $10,000. So that's crazy. Cornelius comes out in court and says, it's my best out to be honest, to be truthful. Why play with these folks? They already know. This is a quote from the courtroom that we unfortunately don't have on footage. Johnson and Smith are accused of firing the shots that killed Memphis rapper, while Govan is accused of conspiring and planning it out. No motive has been disclosed. So they don't even have a reason as to why. This is just what Big Jook wanted, of course. But we do know that there was some sort of animosity between the two camps, CMG and Paper Route, which is Young Dolph's label. CMG is Yo Gotti, of course. After Hagerman showed a video of two men firing into the window of Makita's homemade butter cookies, Smith confirmed that was the day we had got young Dolph. Some words I am changing just to make it less, YouTube whatever, guideline-ish. The up-and-coming Dolph gained recognition with his mixtapes, including High Class Street Music series and Rich Slade. Before his death, Dolph was celebrated for his independent approach to music and his authentic lyrics reflecting his life experiences. Smith identified himself, captured on camera, getting out of a white Mercedes, and Johnson as the second man before they allegedly ran up and fired through the store window. He says, I wasn't feeling nothing at the time. This is Cornelius. He said, I was just trying to get some money. I saw him standing by the window. I just got out the car and started firing. Smith testified that both he and Johnson knew Govan, who was working to secure a deal for Johnson with CMG, the record label linked to brothers Yo Gotti and Big Jook. So, wow. So Johnson, aka Straight Drop, who was already an artist signed under Young Dolph, was trying to secure a record deal with CMG, which is Yo Gotti and his brother Big Jook's label. So I'm guessing he saw an out. Hey, if he's not here, then I could probably get myself out of the contract. If he was even on the under contract, to be honest, because you know how street business go. You just be under a nigga with no contract, claiming it and doing whatever. They say there was a growing rivalry between Gotti and Dolph, which primarily stemmed from their differing affiliations and the competitive nature of the Memphis rap scene. The tension escalated over time, with both artists exchanging subliminal disses in their music and engaging in public back and forths. The rivalry was marked by a series of tracks that seemed to target each other directly or indirectly, as well as incidents of violence. In September 2017, Dolph was first shot outside of a Los Angeles hotel during a fight with 3 men. This was initially believed to have stemmed from his feud with Gotti, who was also staying at the same hotel, but the LAPD denied that Gotti was a person of interest in that investigation. A few days after, Corey McClendon, a known associate to Gotti, was arrested. However, he was never charged. Cornelius Smith, who we saw in that video snitching, claimed that Govan told him and Johnson about Big Jook's $100,000 hit. The men allegedly both agreed to help carry out the plan, which they had discussed over several weeks. Smith added they planned to pay Govan $10,000, while each of them would take home $40,000. As I stated before, he claims he only received $800 out of that promise before he was arrested in January of 2022. Okay. Mr. Cornelius started his testimony by telling the prosecution that he knows he will serve prison time for his role and has decided to finally tell the truth because he had a conscience. Johnson's defense attorney, Luke Evans, told the jury that they would be hearing conflicting past statements from Smith because he's trying to save himself from serving jail time. So Johnson, of course, is the other co-defendant in the case, and he's the other gunman. And his attorney is trying to say that Smith is going to be stating conflicting statements to save himself, to basically try and pin everything on Justin Johnson. Okay. Evan, who I don't know who that is, alleged that Smith wrote a letter to his family saying he didn't. Okay, this is Luke Evans is Justin's attorney. Okay. Alleged that Smith wrote a letter to his family saying he didn't kill Dolph, but will say whatever he had to do to get a deal. Smith denied writing a letter to his sister where he allegedly stated he didn't do anything wrong, but would lie anyway. Oh, okay. But then they're on camera, so whether or not he told his sister, I mean, wouldn't matter, right? Smith said he and Johnson knew Dolph would be in Memphis at the time because his record label, Paper Route Empire, had held a turkey drive every year, which we heard him referencing in video about the turkey drive for that entire week before Thanksgiving. Dolph's brother can be seen running out of the store with a firearm of his own after Smith and Johnson ran back toward their Mercedes. Smith was hit in his shoulder, arm, and leg, and says he nor Johnson fired back at Dolph's brother. Plus, if he got the injuries on him, he clearly had to be there. If he was hit in his shoulder, arm, and leg, he wasn't there for no reason. Smith testified that day he and Johnson caught Dolph was also his daughter's birthday. Attorney in the court said, "You went and unalived a man on your daughter's birthday?" Mr. Smith replied, I was trying to make it rain for her. Dog. If this ain't some movie shit, you was trying to make it rain? Sir, do you know how much rain you caused in the lives of your own family and others? This nigga said I was trying to make it rain for... I don't want to make this shit a laughing matter, but you got to be a stupid motherfucker. Talking about you have a conscience. Nigga, where was your conscience that day? I wanted to make a beautiful day for her. End quote. As much as I want to go in on you, sir, I'm not, because I do appreciate you coming clean. Now, there will be some dusties out there possibly under the comments of this video saying, "Oh, I hate that he's snitching." And if you're a dusty that wants to talk about snitching, have at it. I won't engage with you. I'm not going to criticize your way of thinking. I would rather just not engage at all. I'm happy this nigga's coming clean and letting it be known. This is what I did. This is what we did. This was a planned hit. We were supposed to receive $100,000. I only received $800. Flat. Nothing. And a motherfucking letter that said if I get caught, this nigga was going to cover my my attorney expenses. The motherfucker who claimed he was going to cover my attorney expenses is no longer here with us, so clearly he ain't covering a motherfucking thing. I ain't mad at homie. Come clean, serve your motherfucking time. Now, I hope you don't get your ass out no day sooner. But I appreciate you for letting it be known, because there needed to be some justice for this man losing his life. He was just fucking, you know what I'm saying? He had already been shot before. Jesus, 4 years later, he gone. Now, I don't know everything that Dolph was involved in. I don't purport to. If they had street bending going on and he was retaliating and they was going back and forth, other niggas got shot, I do not know. I try to stay away from some of the street politics niggas be into. I see the stuff that hits the surface. If it don't reach my surface, I don't really go digging for it. There's other people, other creators on the internet that have no problem digging into this stuff and talking like they know everything. You can find them niggas. Because I don't want none of... Whatever dirt is being shoveled in any direction, I don't want none of that shit in mine. You feel me? So we only gonna go so far with this shit. But I will, once again, rest in peace to young Dolph. My condolences to your family, your friends, those that loved you, those that got to meet you, those that got to spend time with you, your collaborators, your producers, all of the people that you were responsible for taking care of in some capacity or providing opportunity and or funds to. I know all of them have been affected greatly by this loss. So I do want to give love and light to those people. Everyone else, you might only get like a few times a day. You understand what I'm saying? 23 and 1. Best wishes to you. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda, we hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer, we come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross I'm out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.